Welcome to the channel Darkness in the Night. Tonight, follow Lynn, a young woman who has just arrived in the ancient town of Hoin, where the moss-covered yellow walls hide a secret buried for centuries. The evening sky over Hoin turned into a deep golden hue. The narrow street shimmered under rows of swaying lanterns. The sound of wooden clogs and creaking bicycles echoed across the old stone pavement. Lynn stood at a crossroads, pulling her old suitcase, breathing in the breeze rising from the Hoai River, a damp, musty scent, like old paper mixed with burning incense. She shivered slightly. The air feels strange? The wind slapped against her face, chilling her skin though the sun still lingered on the tiled roofs. The innkeeper greeted Lynn with a warm smile, a tanned woman with a distinct central accent. "Miss Lynn, right? Your room's on the 3rd floor, facing the river, but don't open the window at night, dear. The river wind gets real cold." "Yes, thank you, Auntie. I'll be here for about 2 weeks, collecting materials for my book." "Oh, a writer, huh?" Hoin's full of old tales, but not every old tale should be heard. You know, some stories, once heard, they never leave you. Lynn smiled politely, thinking the woman was joking, but there was something in her eyes, something that didn't look like a jest. That first night, Lynn lay in her wooden room. Outside, the wind fluttered the thin curtain. The river lapped softly against the wall, like whispers in the dark. She turned on her side, staring at the ceiling. The clock ticked slowly, steady, hollow beats merging with the cold air. A creak broke the silence. The old wardrobe door opened slightly. Lynn sat up abruptly. "Who's there?" No answer. Only the heavy darkness filling the room. She tiptoed closer. Moonlight spilled through the window, revealing something inside the wardrobe. An old painting, its wooden frame streaked with green mold. The canvas yellowed, the lines faint. It showed a woman in a white silk dress, her long hair covering half her face. Lynn swallowed hard. Probably left by the owner. But as she reached to close the door, a gust of wind roared through the room, flinging the curtain wide as if someone had yanked it. A whisper drifted through the air, thin and icy. "It's cold here." Lynn stumbled back, heart pounding. She tripped over the bed frame, nearly falling. Then, silence again. She sank down, clutching her chest, trying to steady her breath. "I'm just tired, imagining things." She turned off the lamp and forced her eyes shut. Yet the image of the girl in the painting lingered. That black hair, those sealed lips, and the eyes that seemed to follow her through the dark. The next morning, Min, Lynn's close friend, rode down from Da Nang. They met at a riverside cafe, sunlight filtering through wooden shutters, painting soft yellow patches on the table. "Lynn, you look exhausted. Didn't sleep well last night?" "Yeah, I had a weird dream. Really weird." "You've been writing too many ghost stories again, haven't you? I told you, it's fine to write them. Just don't live in them." "It wasn't just a dream. I saw a woman, in a painting. She spoke to me." Min raised an eyebrow. "A painting?" "In my room. I swear I didn't see it before I went to bed. But when I woke up, it was there. Inside the wardrobe. Something's not right." She told the story in detail, the sound of the wind, the whispering voice, the eyes in the painting. Min stayed silent for a moment, then slowly said, "That sounds like the old legend around here. Locals say there was a girl named Thuk An who died unjustly a long time ago. Her spirit was trapped inside a painting. Anyone who keeps that painting meets misfortune." Lynn gripped her coffee cup tightly, her gaze distant. "Thuk An, that name, it feels familiar. Maybe she whispered it to you in your dream. But Lynn, if that painting's real, you'd better move out. In Hoin, there are things you just don't touch." Lynn shook her head gently. "No, I have to know. Something about that painting, it's pulling me in. I want to know what happened to her." A gust of wind swept through, blowing the light off their table. In that instant, Lynn clearly heard a whisper right beside her ear. "Don't go?" She jolted up, spinning around, heart pounding. No one was there. Min looked at her, face pale. "Lin, what did you hear?" "Someone just spoke, right next to me." The cafe fell silent. Only the soft rustle of wind and the chime of wind bells echoed at the doorway. By dusk, Lin returned to her room. She opened the wardrobe. The painting was still there. But strangely, the girl's expression had changed, her lips slightly curved, as if forming a faint smile. A shiver ran down Lin's spine. From outside, the landlady called up. "Miss Lin, remember to lock your door early. The wind's strong tonight." "Yes, I will." Lin closed the door, sat at her desk, opened her laptop, and typed a few lines in her journal. "First day in HOIN. I dreamed of the girl in the painting. She said, 'It's cold here.' I feel like she wants me to help her with something." The wind rose again. The desk lamp flickered. The laptop screen blinked twice, then went black. In the darkness, Lin looked up. The painting had fallen to the floor. She walked toward it slowly, her heartbeat racing. The canvas had a long, thin tear, and behind the fabric, a real human eye was staring straight at her. Night had fallen. The ancient streets shimmered under the glow of lanterns. But inside Lin's small room, only a faint, flickering desk lamp cast trembling light. She sat frozen before the fallen painting, her heart still pounding wildly. The torn fabric gaped open, and through that slit, Lin was sure she had seen a real eye. Her breath came quick and shaky. "No way, I must have imagined it, maybe just the light reflecting." She bent down to pick up the painting. The moment her fingers brushed the wooden frame, a cold chill ran through her body. The wind in the room stopped. Only the heavy ticking of the clock filled the silence. A whisper rose behind her. "Don't touch it." Lin spun around. No one, only the curtain swaying softly, as if someone had just passed through. She wrapped her arms tightly around herself, backing toward the bed. "Who's there? Who's in here?" Silence. Only the faint dripping of water outside. Lin rushed to the balcony, looking down the narrow alley. The street below was dark. Only a few lanterns floated eerily, swaying in the wind like hanging souls between worlds. At the end of the alley stood a shadow, the figure of a woman in a white dye. Long hair cascading down, staring silently upward. Lin froze. Who are you?" The white figure tilted her head slightly, then vanished into the wind. Lin's door slammed shut. Bang! The desk lamp went out, and the room was swallowed in dense darkness. The next morning, Lin awoke groggy, unable to remember when she had fallen asleep. The painting was now wrapped tightly in a cloth and placed in the corner, as if she feared it might come alive. A knock sounded at the door. Min appeared, holding 2 cups of coffee. "Feeling any better today? You look like you had sleep paralysis or something." "I don't know. There was someone, or something, in my room last night." "What?" "I saw a woman in white down the alley. And I heard a voice, telling me not to touch the painting." Min set the cup down, his tone turning serious. "Listen, Lin, I don't think that painting is normal. Where did you say it came from?" "It was in the wardrobe. I didn't bring it here. The landlady said she knew nothing about it." "Then tonight, I'm staying with you. I want to see that thing myself." Lin hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, I want to know what it really is too." That night, they sat in the dim room, the desk lamp casting weak yellow light. Min unwrapped the cloth, revealing the painting. The small tear was still there. Both stared at the eyes in the portrait, deep, cold, and almost alive. "This style's old," Min murmured, "probably from the last century. It feels strange. Every time I look at it, I hear whispers." "Don't let your imagination get to you. You're a writer. Sometimes it plays tricks." Lin stayed silent. The longer she stared, the clearer those painted eyes became. She heard it again, faint scratching, like nails raking on wood. Tap, tap, tap? "You hear that, Min?" "Hear what?" "That tapping?" The sound came again, slower this time. Tap, tap, then silence. Min looked around, grabbed his flashlight, scanning the corners of the room. No one there. Probably a mouse, or something fell. No, the sound came from inside the painting. She whispered, eyes still locked on those cold eyes. Suddenly, a violent gust of wind burst through the window. The lamp went out. The room drowned in darkness. A faint moan echoed. It hurts. Min turned on his phone flashlight. The beam hit the painting, and both froze. The woman's face was now streaked with red, as if bleeding through the canvas. Oh my God, what is that? Min, I told you, someone's inside that painting. A cracking sound split the air. The wooden frame fractured. From the fissures seeped a thin black mist, swirling around the room, breathing. Alive. Min stumbled back, his face pale. Get out, now. They ran down the staircase, lantern light spilling across the weathered walls. When Lynn glanced back, she saw the girl from the painting standing in the doorway, her eyes hollow. Watching them leave. That night, Lynn couldn't sleep. They rented a small room near the night market. Min leaned against the wall, eyes fixed on the window. Lynn, what are you planning to do now? I have to find out. I'm sure that girl is Thuk Ann. She wants me to see. To remember. Are you crazy? She's a ghost. No, I think she's asking for help. Min fell silent. Outside, the gentle waves of the Hoai River brushed the shore. A distant temple bell rang, deep and mournful. Lynn closed her eyes. In her mind appeared that pale face again, the tight lips, the sorrowful eyes. Then, like a breeze through her ear, came the faint whisper. Find me? She opened her eyes, looking out the window. Across the river, through the mist, someone was standing, a white dress fluttering in the wind. Morning came, blanketed in Hoi and silver fog. The crow of roosters mixed with the river's quiet ripples. Lynn sat under the shop's awning, eyes sunken from a sleepless night. Min set a cup of coffee before her, voice hoarse. Be honest, are you really staying here? After what happened, you're not scared? I am, but I can't shake the feeling that someone wants me to go somewhere. I keep hearing the voice, find me. And it doesn't sound evil. It sounds sad. Sad? Lynn, ghosts don't get sad. You've watched too many movies. No, it's real. Last night, I saw her across the river. You saw her too, didn't you? Min's hand trembled slightly as he lifted his cup. Yeah, I saw her. But what now? I'm going across the river. There's an old abandoned mansion. Locals say it used to belong to a merchant named Lam, the man who once loved a woman named Thuk Ann. Min sighed. And you know where this place is? The cafe owner told me. It's by the river bend, near a big banyan tree. I'm going there today. By noon, the sun beat down and the river breeze carried a damp chill. They followed a narrow path shaded by trees, the smell of decaying wood and moss heavy in the air. The old house emerged behind a row of areca palms, its roof dark gray. Walls flaking, shutters sealed tight. A faded wooden sign still clung to the gate. Only 2 words legible. Asterisk, Lamb family, asterisk. Lynn swallowed hard. This is it. Min stepped onto the porch, pushing the door gently. The hinges screamed. The air inside was icy, thick with a chill that seemed to breathe. The walls were stained and cracked, spider webs thick across the corners. In the center of the room stood an old altar, covered by a white cloth. Lynn slowly pulled the cloth away. Dust rose in a hazy cloud. A faded photograph lay crooked on the altar, a stern-faced man dressed in a black traditional robe. Behind the altar, a large painting stood face down against the wall. Lynn's heartbeat quickened. Min, help me lift this up. They raised it together. When the painting turned around, Lynn froze. It was the same painting she had found in her room, the girl in a white silk dress, hair covering half her face. But this one was complete, no tear, no decay. And in the girl's eyes, There was sorrow, deep, heavy, almost about to cry. Wind howled through the cracks. Rustling papers scattered across the floor. A soft voice whispered right beside Lynn's ear. "This is where I died." Lynn stumbled back, her legs trembling. "Did you hear that, Min?" "Why yeah, I heard it." A woman's voice. "She said this is where she died." Min swallowed hard, glancing around. "Lynn, I think we shouldn't stay here long." "No, I need to know everything. If she's really Thuck Ann, this place is the key." Lynn took out her phone. The flashlight beam sweeping across the wall. The mold stains looked eerily like handprints. Near the floor, a few bricks were uneven. She knelt down and pried them loose. Behind the dusty wall was a small wooden box, old and rusted shut. "What is this?" She forced the lock open. It snapped with a loud click. Inside lay a yellow diary, a silver slip of paper, and a cracked jade hairpin. Lynn's hands trembled as she opened the first page. Diary of Thuck Ann, year 1887, asterisk. She looked up at Min, eyes wide. "It's real. She was real. Min. I don't want to believe it. Lynn, this place feels like a tomb." Lynn flipped through more pages. The handwriting was thin, slanted, smudged by water. "Greater than, I trusted him. The merchant who promised to marry me under the next full moon. But he betrayed me. He wed the governor's daughter. That night, they dragged me to the river. My body sank, and my soul was trapped inside the portrait he painted." Lynn's voice trembled as she read aloud. "Min, it was him. The man named Lamb, the owner of this house." A asterisk clack echoed behind them. The wooden door swung shut. The wind died. The air thickened, heavy, suffocating, as if someone stood right behind them. Lynn turned her head slowly. "Thuck Ann?" The girl's eyes in the painting moved. A drop of black liquid slid down her pale cheek. The voice came again, clearer now, echoing through the cold air. "I cannot rest? He betrayed me. Blood must be repaid." Min backed toward the door, his face pale. "Lynn, let's go, now." But Lynn seemed transfixed, drawn into the gaze of the painting. She reached out, her lips trembling. "I will help you. I promise." The painting began to shudder. Cold wind burst through the room. The curtains flew though the windows were closed tight. On the wall, black words began to appear, thick as ink. "Blood must be repaid with blood, asterisk." Min grabbed Lynn's arm, pulling her toward the exit. The door slammed behind them with a deafening bang, echoing through the narrow alley. They stood gasping by the river, sweat cold on their backs. Lynn turned to look up. In the second-floor window, a white figure was standing, watching them silently. The river wind howled. A faint whisper brushed Lynn's ear once more. "Don't leave me?" Lynn squeezed her eyes shut. "I won't. I have to find a way to free her. Min." Min's voice came out rough, almost breaking. "You don't get it, Lynn. Maybe what she wants isn't freedom." Night had fallen, and the wind from the Hoai River blew cold and sharp. Lanterns swayed above, their red light rippling across the wet stone streets like streaks of blood. Lynn walked slowly down a narrow alley, clutching the cloth bag that held the diary. Min walked beside her, voice trembling with worry. "Lynn, I'm serious. You need to stop this. Reading that diary is only bringing trouble." "No, I have to understand. She was wronged. Min, if her soul still lingers, there must be a reason." "You don't get it. Spirits don't need reasons. I don't believe she wants to hurt me." Min sighed heavily. "Then tell me, if she really is a restless ghost, what will you do?" "I'll help her find peace." The wind swept through the old town, swirling yellow leaves across the street. Far away, a temple bell echoed through the night, deep, sorrowful, blending with the sound of the river like someone crying. When they reached the inn, Lynn opened the door. The smell of damp wood and dust hit her nose. Everything looked the same, the wardrobe, the desk, the thin curtain, but the painting was gone. Lynn froze. Min, where's the painting? I don't know. Maybe the landlady took it? Lin hurried into the hall to ask. The woman's eyes widened, her voice shaking. What painting, miss? I didn't touch a thing. The room was locked all day. Then who took it? The landlady glanced around, whispering. Miss, last night, I saw your door open by itself. There was a red glow inside, then it went dark. This morning the door was locked again. I was too scared to go in. Min swallowed hard. Lin said nothing, her heart sinking. If the painting's gone, maybe she's no longer trapped in it. Night deepened. Min, exhausted, fell asleep early. Lin stayed at the desk, opening the diary again. The first page still bore the same old writing, but now, a red streak bled across the paper like wet blood. She touched it. It was still fresh. Then, a new word appeared before her eyes. I am here. Lin's hand jerked back, her heart racing. No way. Line after line began to appear, as if an unseen hand were writing from the other side. I didn't want to die. He promised to marry me, then threw me into the river. I was cold, I was afraid. Lin trembled, eyes wide in horror. A droplet of red ink splattered onto the desk, spreading into a small crimson circle. Through the wind outside, she heard someone weeping. Thuck Ann, are you here? No reply. Only a faint tapping sound, like fingers knocking on wood. Tap, tap, tap? Lin turned toward the window. Moonlight washed the floor in a pale, ghostly streak. There, in the center of that light, sat a woman. Hair hanging wet over her shoulders, her white dress dripping, water pooling beneath her. Lin froze. Are you, Thuck Ann? The woman lifted her head. Water dripped from her hair, trailing down like red veins. Her voice was soft, cold as wind slipping through a crack. Give it back? What do you want? He still lives in the blood of man? Lin stepped back, her throat tightening. The blood of man? What do you mean? The figure didn't answer. She turned away, walking slowly toward the corner of the room. When Lin followed, she was gone. Only a puddle of freezing water remained. Min jolted awake, rushing over. Lin, what happened? You screamed. She was here. Who? Thuck Ann, she said. He's still alive, in my blood. Min's face went pale. What do you mean, in your blood? I don't know, but I feel it. Like she's trying to make me remember something. Min grabbed her shoulders, pleading. Please, Lin, stop this. You don't know what you're dealing with. Lin looked down at the diary, the red writing still glistening. Something inside her stirred, faint, eerie, as if another memory was surfacing. Not her own. She saw the Hoai River. The cold moonlight. A man's hands shoving a woman into the dark water. And in that instant, Lin heard her own voice screaming. No, don't push me. She collapsed, gasping for breath, her body icy cold. Min caught her, panicking. Lin, wake up, what's happening to you? I saw it all. Min, I was the one who was pushed into the river. Min stared, stunned. What are you saying? Lin looked up, tears streaming. I think I'm connected to her. Maybe I'm Thuck Ann's descendant. The wind rose again, curtains whipped violently. The diary flipped open by itself, new words etched across the page in thick red ink. My blood still runs in yours. The room dimmed. The lamp flickered out, leaving only the fractured moonlight on the floor. A distant voice echoed, faint, sorrowful. Help me take revenge? Lin trembled, tears glistening on her cheeks. If you were wronged, I'll find the truth, I promise. The wind stopped, silence settled. On the final page of the diary, a new line appeared, glowing crimson. Go to Longan Temple, where all lost souls are trapped. Morning broke, but thick fog still blanketed the river. Lin sat behind Min on the motorbike as they followed a winding road toward the outskirts of Hoin. On both sides stretched flooded rice fields where white egrets drifted lazily above the water, yet the silence was uncanny. Almost too still. Min spoke, eyes fixed on the road ahead. I asked the people at the cafe. They said Longan Temple's been abandoned for years. No one dares go near it. Why was it abandoned? They say it was once used to seal wandering souls. Someone died during a ritual gone wrong. Since then, anyone who goes there never comes back right. If that's true, then that's where Thuk On's spirit must be trapped. Min shot her a sharp look. Do you even hear yourself? That temple holds the dead. Lin, it's not a place for the living. I know, but I had to go. The wind lashed against their faces, carrying a biting chill from the mist. When they arrived, the temple stood silent among the trees, moss crawling up its gates. The wooden sign carved with the words, Longan, was nearly unreadable. Wind moaned through the cracks, sounding eerily like someone crying. Lin's heart pounded as she stood before the gate. Min, do you see that? Smoke's coming from inside. Probably dust stirred up by the wind. No, it's incense. She stepped forward, each footfall sinking into the cold, damp earth. Inside, the Buddha statues were broken, missing arms, their hollow eyes seeming to follow them. In the main hall stood a large altar. Half-melted candles lay scattered in ash. On the far wall, a faded mural stretched across cracked plaster. Lin shone her flashlight. It depicted a girl in a white dress, bound within a circle of red talismans. Beneath her feet, chipped words carved long ago still read faintly. Soul Seal, Longan. Lin swallowed hard. Min, look, she's just like the girl from my dreams. What? I only see mold. No, it's her. It's Thuk An. A gust swept through. The candles on the altar suddenly flared to life, casting a red glow across the hall. A whisper floated from behind them. Return me to the water? Min spun around, his face drained of color. Lin, there's someone behind you. Lin turned slowly. By the temple pillar stood a pale figure, hair hanging long and wet, hands limp at her sides, water dripping onto the stone floor. Thuk An? The figure didn't answer, only raised her head. Her face was ghostly white, eyes sunken and endless black. Take me back to the river? Lin's voice shook. The Hoai River? You want me to take you there? The place I died, where my blood dissolved. Min stepped back, his voice trembling. Let's get out of here. Lin, this place gives me chills. No, I don't think she means us harm. The wind roared, igniting every candle at once. The flickering light threw dozens of shadows on the wall, faint, swaying figures, bowing again and again. Min, do you see them? I see them. My God, who are they? They are the souls sealed here. Thuk On's voice echoed through the temple, haunting and hollow. Lin shut her eyes, forcing herself to stay calm. If you're sealed here, how can I help you escape? Break the seal, find my bloodline. Only blood can open the gate. Lin staggered back, eyes wide. Your bloodline? But you're the one? Her knees buckled. Suddenly, flashes burst through her mind. A man in a black robe standing by the riverbank, holding a ritual dagger. A woman bound, screaming in terror. And the man's face was identical to Min's. Lin screamed. No, it can't be. Min grabbed her shoulders. Lin, what's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that? You're him, the one who killed Thuk An. What? Lin, that's insane. Lin panted, trembling uncontrollably. I saw it, her memory. The man who murdered her looked exactly like you. Min stepped back, pale as death. No, that's impossible. Suddenly, the central candle flared violently, scattering ash into the air. A cold voice boomed through the temple. His blood still flows within your friend. The ground trembled. Statues cracked open, ash raining down like gray snow. Lin grabbed Min's hand, dragging him toward the exit just as the temple roof split and collapsed with a thunderous crash. Outside the gate, Lin collapsed onto the ground, her face ghost white. I don't understand. Min, why did she say that? I don't know, but that temple's cursed. We're lucky to be alive. Lin looked back through the moss-covered gate, where pale smoke still rose, twisting upward like lost souls. Her voice shook as she whispered, "If what she said is true, then you and I are bound by a curse from another life." The wind carried the shattered sound of temple bells. And far away, Thuk On's voice echoed faintly through the mist, soft, cold, and vengeful. "It's not over. I will return." It was late at night. Rain pattered softly against the old tiled roof. Lin lay on her bed, eyes heavy but mind restless. Ever since leaving Longan Temple, it felt like a voice had been whispering inside her head, over and over. "Return me to the river?" She jolted upright and turned on the light. The room was silent except for the sound of rainwater streaming down the roof. On the desk, the diary lay open. The last page was smudged with ink, showing a circle and a small dagger drawn in its center. "Thuk An, what do you want me to do now?" No answer. Then the desk lamp flickered out. Lin panicked, rushing to the door, but it wouldn't budge, as if locked from the outside. A pale blue light filled the room. Everything began to spin. A cold droplet landed on her cheek, and the next moment, her whole body sank into something soft and freezing. When she opened her eyes, she was standing in the middle of a river. The water was icy, the air shrouded in fog. In front of her was Hoin, but not the Hoin she knew. It was old, silent, untouched by time. From afar came a haunting melody, thin and mournful. A woman in a white silk dress sat by the riverbank, her long hair veiled in incense smoke. "Are you Thuk An?" The woman turned, smiling faintly. "You have come. Am I dreaming? This is where I died, and where you will learn the truth." The mist cleared, revealing wooden houses, lanterns, and merchants passing by. The sound of oars echoed across the river. A man in a black traditional robe approached Thuk An, a paper fan in hand. His eyes were cold, though his smile was gentle. "You came," she said softly. "I came to send you off." "Send me off? To where?" He stepped closer, voice dropping. "You know too much." Suddenly, he drew a dagger, its blade glinting in the moonlight. Thuk An stumbled back, her voice trembling. "What are you doing? If I don't, they'll kill me." He stabbed her, blood splashed bright red against her white dress. Thuk An stared at him, her eyes full of pain, tears mixing with blood. Why did you betray me?" "I'm sorry." He pushed her into the river. The splash echoed like thunder. Lin screamed, but no sound came out. She saw Thuk An struggling beneath the water, hands reaching upward, then slowly fading away. From the depths, a crimson light began to glow, forming a strange sigil. Thuk An's voice echoed in Lin's mind. "Do you see now? He carries the blood of the betrayer." "No, that's impossible. You carry my blood, and he carries his." Lin's breath caught. "You mean, Min? Blood never lies. You and he were born to meet again, one to seek justice, one to atone." A giant wave surged, pulling Lin under. All around her, ghostly figures appeared, dozens, hundreds, bound by red cords, eyes hollow and lifeless. Who chained you?" A whisper answered. "The temple, Longan." Another voice rasped. "We cannot rest until the blood debt is paid." Lin thrashed, trying to reach the surface. Through the churning water, she saw Thuk An approaching, her cold hand pressing against Lin's chest. "You must return me to the place I died. Use your blood to open the gate." "You want me to die?" "No, just one drop of blood, that's enough." A crimson light flared around them, the current swirling violently. The ancient painting rose from the river's depths, its wooden frame splitting apart, and within it, Thuk An's face dissolved into the water. "I'll be waiting by the riverbank." The voice faded as Lin gasped awake. She sat up, drenched in sweat. On the desk, the diary was closed, but beside it, a single drop of water shimmered, cold as ice. Min burst through the door, panic in his eyes. "Lin, what the hell were you screaming for?" I saw everything." "Saw what?" "Thuck Ann, she was murdered. And the man who killed her was your ancestor." Min froze, lips trembling. "No way, my family's never even lived here." "Yes, I saw his face. It was yours." They both fell silent. The rain outside drummed steadily on the roof. Lin spoke softly, her voice breaking. She said, "We must return to the Hoai River, where it all began." Min met her gaze, fear and guilt flickering in his eyes. "Then we go. If that's what it takes to end this, I'll go with you." Outside, lightning flashed, illuminating the rising river in the distance. A pale figure glided past the window, long hair trailing behind, then vanished into the rain. And from the storm came a whisper, faint as breath. "Come back, I'm waiting." The rain poured down. Midnight rain in Hoian was both heavy and sorrowful. Red lanterns flickered along the Hoai River, their light trembling on the muddy, restless water. Lin wore a thin raincoat, a flashlight in hand, walking slowly along the riverside. Min followed close behind, his voice low and uneasy. "Lin, I still don't think this is a good idea." "I know, but I can't stop," she said. "Only here can the curse be lifted. And if it can't, then I'll still have to try." They stopped before an ancient banyan tree, its tangled roots spilling into the river's edge. Lin stared down into the black water, the wind slapping rain across her face. This is where she was pushed in." Min swallowed hard. "How do you know that?" "I saw it in my dream, every inch of it, every branch." She opened her bag, pulling out a water-soaked diary and laying it on a flat stone. From inside her coat, she drew a small dagger, the same antique blade she'd found at the old shop days earlier. Min's eyes widened. "Hey, what are you doing?" She said. "She needs a drop of my blood." "Lin, that's insane." "No, it's the only way." Thunder cracked across the sky. The rain thickened. Lin bit her lip, slicing her fingertip with the dagger. A single drop of blood fell onto the diary's page. Instantly, the river rippled. The wind howled, water surged against the bank, and from deep below came a faint, mournful sob. "Do you hear that, Min? She's coming." Suddenly, a pale hand broke the surface, then a drenched head with long black hair rising slowly from the depths. Two hollow eyes stared straight at Lin. "I have returned?" Min stumbled backward, voice shaking. "Lin, run, that's not human anymore." Lin shook her head, stepping closer. "Thuck Ann, I did what you asked, can you rest now?" The figure in the water raised her head, water streaming from her lips as she whispered. "Blood opened the gate, but he must pay." At that moment, Min collapsed to his knees, clutching his chest, gasping. "Lin, my heart, it's like it's being crushed." "Min, stay with me." A red glow swirled around Min, circling him like a vortex. Inside that light, Lin saw a shadow forming, a man in a black robe. Eyes cold, dagger in hand. Thuck Ann's cry echoed, torn between agony and rage. "It's him, he's the one." Min fell to the ground, trembling. "No, it's not me, I don't know anything." "Not you, but your blood?" Lin murmured, tears mixing with the rain. The red light flared violently. The cursed painting rose from the river, hovering mid-air, its wooden frame cracking apart. From within, countless ghostly hands reached out, gripping each other, pulling Min toward the water. "Lin, help me. Grab my hand, now." Lin lunged forward, grabbing his arm, but his hand was icy, lifeless. "I feel cold, so cold." "Don't let go, Min." The water rose higher. Behind Lin, Thuck Ann's figure appeared, soaked, pale, and sorrowful. "Your debt is paid, I will go." Lin turned, trembling. What about Min? Please, don't hurt him. He's innocent. Thuc An looked at her with grief in her eyes. Blood is never innocent, but I pity you. I will not harm him. She reached out, pressing her hand gently against Min's forehead. A white light flared, his body convulsed once, then went still. The rain stopped. Silence filled the air. Lin looked up. Thuc An stood in the middle of the river, smiling faintly before fading into the water. Thank you. Lin bowed deeply. When she raised her head again, only ripples remained. The painting had vanished. She shook Min's shoulder softly. Min, wake up. After a moment, his eyes opened, voice hoarse. I'm alive? Yes, she spared you. And you? I just feel cold, but peaceful. They sat together by the riverbank. The moon broke through the clouds, silver light glimmering on the water. The smell of wet earth and faint incense drifted in the night breeze. Far away, the bell of Long and Pagoda tolled, deep and slow, as a thin white mist drifted across the river. Then faded away. Lin's voice grew soft, as if speaking to herself. Maybe she's finally at peace. Min glanced at her, exhausted but calm. I hope so. I don't want to dream of anyone anymore. Lin smiled faintly. But deep down, she knew. The story wasn't truly over. Lin opened her eyes. The dark wooden ceiling above her was cracked, the lines twisting like tiny snakes crawling through the grain. Outside, last night's rain had stopped. The air smelled damp, and the sound of crickets blended with the distant toll of a temple bell. She sat up, scanning the room. Min lay unconscious on the other bed. The blanket covered his chest. But his hand was cold as river water. Lin touched his arm gently. Min, wake up. He stirred, eyes opening, cloudy, unfocused. I dreamed she was standing outside the door. Who? Thuc An. Her hair was wet. She was just standing there, staring at me. Lin turned toward the door. The wooden planks were shut tight, light seeping through the cracks. The air in the room felt thick, heavy, like someone had just left. She grasped Min's wrist, her own fingers trembled. It was just a dream. Min shook his head weakly. No, I heard her voice, right by my ear. She said, the blood isn't clean yet. The room fell silent. The oil lamp on the table suddenly sputtered out, leaving behind the smell of burnt smoke. Lin switched on her flashlight and swept it across the walls. There, faint red streaks ran from the window down to the floorboards. They looked like diluted blood, seeping through the cracks. Min, do you see that? He sat up, eyes wide. Dear God, what is that? Blood? But from where? Don't say that, stop it. Lin stepped closer, trembling, and touched it. The red stain was icy cold, sticky against her fingertips. A chill shot straight down her spine. Then, a whisper, soft, brushing her ear like wind. Don't forget me. Lin stumbled back, hitting the table. The diary fell to the floor, pages fluttering open. Inside, dried blood blotted the paper. On the last page, new words had appeared in red ink. When blood meets water, the gate remains unclosed. The next morning, the sky over Hoin was gray and strange. Locals murmured that a storm was coming. Sea winds blew through the streets, making lanterns sway endlessly. Lin put on a long-sleeved coat. Together with Min, she went to find the old woman who guarded Long and Temple, rumored to know the truth of the curse. They followed a narrow mossy alley, the scent of incense faint in the wind. The old woman sat before the temple gate, fingers sliding slowly over a string of prayer beads. When she saw Lin, she looked up, her cloudy eyes gleaming with uncanny light. Child, you carry the scent of the river. Lin bowed slightly, voice low. Grandmother, I came to ask about Thuc An. The woman paused her prayer beads and nodded slowly. Thuc An, the oldest restless soul of this land. She never reincarnated because her blood was sealed by a man's spell. She waits for her bloodline to open the gate. Min frowned. You mean, Lin's bloodline? The old woman studied Lin for a long time, then spoke softly. This girl bears heavy yin energy. Inside her runs the same thread that bound Thuk An. How can that be? Lin's voice trembled. Because you didn't come here by chance. Child, you came because of karma. A cold gust swept across the temple courtyard, shaking the Bodhi leaves. The bell tolled again, slow, echoing, unsettling. The old woman continued. To end the curse, you must find the mirror of cause and effect, buried with Thuk An. Whoever looks into it will see their true form. Where is it? Beneath the Hoai River, the very place you called her spirit. Min shook his head violently. No way, we almost died there. The old woman only smiled faintly. If you don't face it, that's when death truly begins. That night, Lin couldn't sleep. She lay awake, listening to the wind hiss through the roof tiles, and to the faint bell ringing somewhere far away. Rhythmic, like it was echoing inside her skull. She looked down at her hand. The cut from the night before hadn't healed. A droplet of blood welled up, falling onto a white cloth, spreading like a red flower. Then, a whisper, right beside her ear. You've already opened the gate. Lin shot upright. In the mirror across the room, her reflection wasn't alone. Behind her was another face, pale, hollow, eyes black as the abyss. She froze, breath caught in her throat. The reflection moved too, but slower, its head tilting at an unnatural angle, like a hanged corpse. What do you want from me? Lin gasped. I want you to see what I saw. Suddenly, the mirror rippled. Hoi and disappeared. In its place, an ancient chamber lit by flickering candles, and a woman sobbing uncontrollably. Lin realized she was watching Thuk An's memory. The woman knelt, clutching her belly, blood pooling beneath her. Before her stood a man in a black robe, holding a talisman. His voice was cold as stone. You betrayed me. May your soul never find peace. He pressed the talisman to her forehead. A scream tore through the air. Lin jolted awake. Her body was drenched in sweat, heart pounding wildly. On her forehead, a faint red mark, shaped exactly like the talisman in her dream. Shaking, she reached up to touch it. Min's voice broke the silence from the other bed. Lin, your forehead, it's bleeding. She looked at her hand, fresh blood, dark and real. Outside, the temple bell tolled again. But this time, not 3 times, 7. 7 chimes. 7 lifetimes of vengeance unfulfilled. And Lin knew then. Thuk An hadn't gone. She was still here, in the blood, in the memory, in every breath Lin took. The night in Hoian was unnervingly still. The river lay flat as glass, yet its waters were black, swallowing even the moon's reflection. On both sides, red lanterns swayed in the breeze, their glow spilling over the mossy rooftops like liquid fire. Lin stood by the riverbank, wrapped in a thin raincoat, clutching an old oil lamp. Min followed behind, still pale and weak, his voice low. Are you sure you had to go down there, Lin? Yes, the mirror of cause and effect lies beneath this river. If we don't find it, things will only get worse. What did the old woman say again? She said whoever looks into it will see their true self. Lin peered into the murky water. The smell of mud and rot rose thickly from below, as if something down there was breathing. She tied a rope around her waist and handed the other end to Min. If I pull hard, drag me up right away. Got it? For God's sake, it's the middle of the night. Don't do this. There's no other way. Taking a deep breath, Lin waded in. The water was freezing, soaking through her clothes until her skin went numb. Each step sank into the mud, while the still current seemed to watch her. Under the dim glow of her lamp, Lin reached down and groped through the sludge. Her fingers brushed something smooth, cold as bone. She cleared away the mud, revealing a small mirror framed in tarnished silver. The glass was clouded, smoky, like it remembered too much. I found it, she shouted. Min pulled on the rope, Then come back up. Now, Lynn. But she didn't move. Because the face staring back from the mirror wasn't hers, it was another woman's. A woman with wet hair, sorrowful eyes, and a beauty that hurt to look at. Thuck Ann. The mirror began to glow. The river churned violently, a whirlpool forming around her feet. A gust of icy wind tore through the night, stealing her breath away. Voices echoed all around. You have found me. I came to end this. End it? No one can end karma. The water rose, dragging her under. Darkness swallowed her whole. When she opened her eyes again, she was no longer in the river, but in that same candlelit chamber from her dreams. Thuck Ann stood there, dressed in white, her face hauntingly beautiful, unbearably sad. You see now? This is where I died. I know, but what do you want from me? Your blood is the key. Until I finish my fate, you will never rest. Lynn glanced down. A man's corpse lay on the ground, a dagger buried in his heart. Who is he? The one who betrayed me. But he never truly died. He was reborn, carrying the bloodline that binds us. Lynn froze. You mean, Min? Thuck Ann nodded. Why do you think he's always beside you? Pulling you deeper into this curse? No, Min would never hurt me. But karma has no mercy. The candles flickered violently. From the shadows, Min emerged, but his eyes were glowing red, his skin ashen, lips a deep blue. He stepped closer, voice cracked and rough. Lynn, you can't escape this. She backed away, trembling. Min, what are you saying? I remember, I was him, the man who bound her beneath the river. No, that's not you. But blood doesn't lie. Thuck Ann lifted her hand, whispering, Return my life. The room shook violently. Every candle snuffed out. Only Lynn's pounding heartbeat filled the darkness. She screamed, If you want vengeance, take me, leave him alone. A crimson light burst from the floor, striking the mirror of cause and effect lying between them. In its reflection, Lynn saw three figures, herself, Thuck Ann, and Min, all merging into one shifting shadow. Thuck Ann's voice echoed. You are me, I am you, our blood is one? Lynn felt something surge inside her, as if thousands of souls were clawing their way through her skin. She screamed, her voice breaking into the void. Min fell to his knees, clutching his head. Thuck Ann, I was wrong, I deserved to die, just spare Lynn. At that moment, the mirror shattered. Blinding white light filled the room. When Lynn came to, she was lying on the riverbank. Dawn was breaking. Birdsong drifted over the quiet water, peaceful, as if nothing had ever happened. Min was beside her, breathing, though his face was pale as ash. She looked around, the river was empty. No mirror, no trace. Her hand clenched unconsciously. In her palm lay a tiny shard of the mirror, and in it, not her own reflection, but Thuck Ann's face, smiling softly. Lynn began to cry, her tears falling onto the glass. Her voice broke as she whispered, Please, rest now? A sudden gust rippled across the water. A single red lantern on the far bank flickered to life, glowing blood red even in daylight, and slowly faded out. That night, Lynn and Min left Hoin. But as their car drove out of town, Lynn glanced into the rearview mirror. And there, in the backseat, sat Thuck Ann, silent, her sorrowful eyes watching Lynn, full of pity. The October wind in Hanoi carried a chill, slipping through every crack in the window. Lynn's small rented room sat on the second floor, at the end of a quiet alley. She had just returned after weeks wandering through central Vietnam, hoping for rest, but each night, her sleep grew shorter. Every time she closed her eyes, she dreamed of the Hoai River, the water red as blood, and a voice calling her name, long and drawn out through the wind. That morning, Lynn looked into the mirror. Her face was pale, eyes sunken deep. But what froze her blood was the reflection. Behind her stood a woman with long black hair, dressed in white. She spun around. No one there. just an empty room. She took a deep breath, whispering to herself, "It's nothing, just my imagination." The phone rang. "Min. Hey, you okay?" "Lin? I'm still alive. I keep dreaming of her." "Lin, every night, she's standing outside my door. It's freezing cold. I see her too. I don't think she's gone." Could the mirror of cause and effect still be working? "I don't know, but I'm scared. Min, I'm scared of myself." She hung up and sat motionless. Her hand drifted to her forehead, the spot where the talisman once burned. It was hot now, her pulse racing under her skin. Then, a whisper bloomed inside her mind, faint, but clear. "I am still here." Lin jerked up, clutching her head. "What do you want from me? You're dead. Not yet finished. I helped you get revenge. What more do you want? You haven't seen the whole truth?" The room dimmed, the desk lamp flickered violently. The shadow in the mirror began to move, slowly, until it stood face to face with her reflection. Lin saw Thuk On's pale lips whisper, "In your blood, I live." She backed away, trembling. "No, get out of me." A soft laugh filled the room, thin, echoing, everywhere at once. Then, crack. Every mirror in the room split diagonally. From each fracture, blood seeped out, dripping to the floor in steady beats. Lin screamed, hurling the mirror down. It shattered across the tiles. The blood spread, but didn't smell of iron. Instead, it crawled backward, flowing up the shards, back into her skin. She collapsed, gasping for breath. Her whole body burned. Looking down, she saw her veins rise dark under her skin, red and alive, like fire crawling through her arms. "Min, help me." She reached for her phone, hand trembling. The screen lit up, and instead of her reflection, Thuk On's face stared back. She smiled faintly. "I told you, the blood is not clean." That night, Min arrived. The door to Lin's room was ajar. He pushed it open, calling softly, "Lin, you here?" No answer. The lights were out. Only the faint smell of incense and the quiet drip of water somewhere inside. He took a few steps in, hand sliding along the wall. His foot touched something wet. He pointed his phone flashlight down. A long trail of blood stretched from the center of the room to the shattered mirror. His breath caught. "Lin, where are you?" A whisper came from behind him. "I'm right here." He spun around. Lin stood there, hair falling over half her face, skin deathly pale, eyes hollow. "Lin, what happened to you?" "I'm fine." She smiled. But when Min stepped back, his light caught her neck, a dark bruise shaped like a talisman pulsed beneath the skin. From her mouth came a whisper, but it wasn't her voice. "Did you forget me so soon?" Min froze, back pressed to the wall. "Thuk An, you owe me a life." The room dimmed again. Lin's shadow merged with Thuk On's, their forms twisting together, then dissolving into smoke. Only the wind howled through the window, long and mournful. The next morning, neighbors heard a loud crash. When they opened the door, the room was empty. Mirrors shattered everywhere. On the wall, written in blood, were the words, "When karma remains unbroken, the soul will find another body." Somewhere back in Hoin, a new antique shop opened quietly. The shopkeeper was a young woman, gentle-faced, wearing an old silver bracelet. When customers asked her name, she smiled softly. "My name is Lin." As the customer turned away, the shop light flickered against a mirror on the wall. In the reflection, her face was no longer Lin's, but Thuk On's, smiling faintly. Eyes deep as the river, with a thin red line of blood trickling from her lips. The road leading into Hoin glowed gold beneath the late afternoon sun. Yet to Min, everything looked shrouded in haze. Every narrow alley, every moss-covered roof seemed to weigh down his chest. 3 months had passed since Lin vanished, and he still refused to believe she was dead. He rented a small room near the Hoi River. That first night, the wind whistled through the cracks. making the oil lamp tremble. Min sat alone, pouring himself a cup of rice wine, muttering softly, "Lin, if you're still alive, give me a sign." A cold gust swept through. The cup tipped over on its own, spilling wine across the table. He froze, the red liquid traced a perfect letter L. His hands shook as he lit a cigarette, eyes fixed on the floor. "Lin, is that you?" No answer, only the quiet lapping of the river outside. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Min wandered the ancient streets. Two old women selling souvenirs whispered to each other as he passed. "That man looks just like the lady who owns that midnight shop." "You mean Miss Lin? Strange one, only opens after midnight. Heard that if you look in the mirrors there, you see two people. But only one shadow." Min stopped cold. He stepped closer, asking quietly, "Excuse me, which Lin are you talking about?" "The antique dealer at the end of Tran Phu Alley," one replied. "Her shop's always closed during the day. Folks say you can hear someone crying inside. But at midnight, the door opens." Sweat prickled at Min's neck. Tran Phu Alley, the same place where he and Lin once found the cursed painting. That night, he returned there. The town slept. Only a few red lanterns swayed in the breeze. At the end of the alley stood the antique shop, a faint light glowing through the cracks. The old wooden sign read simply, "Ancient Paintings." He stood at the door, heart pounding. The wind hissed through the hinges, sounding like a whisper. Taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. Creak. Incense filled the air. Inside, shelves were packed tight with relics, bronze urns, wooden statues, old mirrors. And at the center hung a large painting, covered by a red cloth. Then, a woman's voice floated behind him, soft, yet chilling. "Who are you looking for?" Min turned around. It was Lin. She stood there, hair cascading down her shoulders. Dressed in pale gray, her skin was pale, her smile calm, almost too calm. "Lin, my God, it's really you? Why wouldn't it be?" He stepped forward, reaching for her hand, but his fingers passed through empty, freezing air. He recoiled. Are you human? Or are you afraid?" Lin smiled. Her voice was gentle, but it carried the chill of midnight dew. "I'm still here, Min, just not the same as before." Min's throat tightened. "I thought you were gone. I searched everywhere. You found me, didn't you? You're possessed, aren't you? By her? By Thuc An?" Lin tilted her head, eyes distant. Thuc An, she only wanted a place to come home to. Min looked around, mirrors lined every wall. And in each reflection, he saw not just Lin, but another woman behind her, long hair. Hollow black eyes, staring. He stammered. "Are you still Lin?" "I am, both." That voice, it came from her lips and from every mirror at once. Min stumbled back, tripping over a statue and falling hard onto the floor. A low laugh rippled through the room. Every mirror began to tremble, their reflections twisting backward. From the glass, pale hands emerged, reaching, grasping. Min screamed. "Lin, let me go. Stay with me, Min, stay forever." He struggled, but the circle of mirrors had closed around him. In a flash, he saw his own image multiplied a dozen times, each one warped. Each one grinning madly. A cold hand cupped his cheek. Lin's breath brushed his ear as she whispered, "You promised you'd never leave me." Then the lights went out. The next morning, townsfolk found the antique shop wide open. Furniture toppled, artifacts shattered, but no one inside. Every mirror was cracked, and in each one, faintly visible, was the reflection of a man screaming silently. By nightfall, the shop glowed once more. A young woman sat behind the counter, smiling gently as a customer walked in. "Welcome," she said softly. "I'm Lin. What are you looking for?" The lantern light reflected off her eyes, revealing two layered pupils, shimmering faintly, as though two souls were watching from within. The rain poured over Hoin, turning the Hoai River a muddy brown. The antique shop, Ancient Paintings, was still lit, though it was long past midnight. On the wooden counter, an incense bowl burned low, its smoke curling lazily through the air. At the center of the room hung an old painting. The red cloth that once covered it had been removed. In the portrait, the girl's face was clear now, her smile tilted strangely, her eyes seeming to look outward. And Lin, or rather, the one wearing Lin's form, sat before the painting, whispering softly. Blood has merged, flesh has awakened, the soul lives again. Outside, the rain fell harder, each drop striking the window like knuckles rapping against wood. Then came a voice from the street. "Miss Lin, are you still open?" She rose slowly and walked to the door. The flickering light cast strange shadows across her face. "Of course," she murmured, "I'm always open at night." The door creaked open. A young couple stood outside, sheltering from the rain. The woman gasped as she looked around. "Wow, this place is beautiful, so old-fashioned. You sell antiques?" "Yes." Lin smiled faintly. "Very old ones. Do you have any mirrors? I love those old vintage kinds." Lin turned back toward the room. Dozens of mirrors lined the walls, their surfaces gleaming dully in the amber light. She gestured gracefully. "Right here. Go ahead, take a look." The woman stepped closer and peered into one. Her brows furrowed. "That's strange, there's someone else in the mirror." Her husband leaned forward, and his face drained of color. There were 3 figures reflected, but only 2 standing in the room. The third wore white, hair covering her face, standing directly behind them. He grabbed his wife's arm, voice shaking. "Let's go, now." "What? Why?" "Something's wrong." They turned to leave, but the door slammed shut. Wind howled through the shop. The lamps flickered out. Lin's voice came from the dark, soft but echoing. "You came in, why leave so soon?" A quiet laugh rippled through the blackness, then silence. The next morning, the rain had stopped. People walking down Tran Phu Alley saw the shop's doors closed tight. A handwritten note was pinned to the entrance. "Closed. Come back after the full moon." Those who passed by felt a chill crawl down their spine. Some swore they heard a lullaby drifting faintly from inside, a woman's voice mingled with the cry of a child. That night, a new visitor came. He was a storyteller, the host of a horror channel called Darkness in the Night. He'd heard rumors of the haunted antique shop and wanted to record the tale for his listeners. He set up his recorder and began. "Welcome back to Darkness in the Night." But before he finished, the shop lights flickered. In one of the mirrors, his reflection shimmered, and behind him, a faint figure appeared. A whisper brushed against his ear. "You're telling my story, aren't you?" He spun around, no one there. Only the old painting on the wall, and the girl in it seemed to be smiling. The recorder kept running. And when people later listened to the audio, after his opening words, they heard another voice, a woman's whisper beneath his own. "When you speak my name, I see you." That night, the video went live. Viewers praised it, said it felt real, eerily authentic. But some claimed that during the final minute, they saw a shadow behind them in their screen reflection. Others swore they heard a soft whisper near their ear. "It's cold here." Since then, every time the video plays, the painting inside Ancient Paintings glows faintly. And among the passing crowds, some say they can hear light footsteps following close behind. People whisper that Lin is no longer trapped in the mirror. She lives now, in sound, in story, in the voices that call her name. Each time someone speaks of her, or listens to this tale, she listens too. So if you're hearing this story now, don't look into the mirror. And if, later tonight, you hear a whisper right beside your ear, don't answer. Because Lin might be standing right behind you. You've just listened to The Haunted Painting, a story about restless vengeance, about a curse that could never be undone. The dead may rest, but their voices linger. In every sound, every breath, every dream that touches the edge of night. If you feel a chill behind you, if your reflection shows something more than just yourself, then perhaps Lynn has come to say hello. Thank you for staying until the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Darkness in the Night, so that other stories may find you. On a moonless night, when the darkness whispers once again. Disclaimer: this video is a fictional horror story, created purely for entertainment and atmospheric storytelling. We do not promote superstition or encourage any dangerous actions described in this narrative. Any resemblance to real people, places, or events is purely coincidental. Thank you, dear listeners, for supporting Darkness in the Night.